is Mr. Richard Chubtoad Sheldon.
This is episode 187.
187,
Is that
sir.
Code for murder or something like that?
It is. That's a
Yeah,
good call. Look at that.
Snoop Dogg song, and not very great movie either.
See, just all worked
Great
out.
movie. Deep Cover was great. Deep Cover is not great.
So,
Yes,
welcome
it
to the
was.
Walking Dead murder episode.
Yeah, murder. And also,
killing some lists.
Sit down.
that's it. Also with us tonight is Russell Latham joining us again. What's up, Russ?
Hey, I'm finally back.
That's
Wait,
great.
Russ is still alive?
Still.
He's still catching up on Fear the Walking Dead. He hasn't caught up yet. So once he gets back up, he'll join us.
I thought he got stuck out on the ocean in a boat or something as long as he's been gone.
Jim
We
Deeds
got one of the other originators of the podcast on tonight. Very special evening indeed. I wore my tuxedo T-shirt and everything.
and you can hear the baritone sounds of Jim Deeds with us as well, everybody.
I didn't know this was formal. I just wore my underdog t-shirt.
That's fine too.
Aaron Newerth is joining us as well. Aaron?
You guys are talking about the 187. I'm all about the interstitial podcast. That's just a fun nerdy title right there. That's what we're doing.
Interstitial, yes, it's in between, right? Okay, right.
And yes, I'm here and I'm ready to go on this special bonus episode we're doing, or whatever we want to call it.
And with us as well is Daryl Taylor.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it wouldn't be the same without you, Daryl.
God bless.
God bless it. So we're all here, we're all together, and we just wanted to get a little bit, just kind of get together in between the break here. And we originally wanted to do a review of the Telltale game, but a lot of us haven't played it yet. The new one. I guess Russ, you're the only one that's pretty much played it, right?
I like to finish it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think we stay tuned.
Okay,
That'll still be coming.
So that may still be coming. We just not all of us were caught up to that yet. So we decided to do a.
To be fair, it's only a couple episodes out yet. There's still 3 more to go, so we got to not even over.
And I tend to take those Telltale games once they're all released. I'll play it all at once, like I did with the Batman Telltale game. I'll wait till all the chapters are out and then just play the whole thing through.
So
So
that's Jim doing.
the Batman Telltale game was great. I loved it.
I'm getting ready to play that. I've only ever played season 1 of The Walking Dead, so I haven't really. I got what is there now? 4 seasons? How many are out?
3 in the
Yeah.
Michonne.
The three in the Michonne side.
Like for 3.5. For 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it. I mean, I really like the way they put the emphasis on the storytelling in the video game. It's kind of a throwback to the old adventure games of the 80s and 90s, where it was really much like theater of the mind, storytelling emphasis rather than Twitch-based gameplay. So
Well, it's like a digital choose-your-own-adventure book.
Essentially,
Yeah.
with some quick time events thrown in.
Yeah. So
I've spoken the praise of the game many times before, but I would argue that the storytelling in the Walking Dead video game is superior to both the show and at times the comic.
So instead of us doing that, which we probably will get to once we all get caught up with that, and give I guess the rest of the world a chance to catch up with that as well, we decided to do our top 5 episodes of The Walking Dead up to now. So we've got 7.5 seasons in the can, and we decided to go back, do a rewatch in some cases, and just kind of turn back the clock. We've got 7.5 years of material to go through, and we're going to narrow it down to our top 5 episodes, starting with the 5th, going all the way up to the 1st for each host, and we also got some special trivia we'll mix in as well, just for fun, just to test our host knowledge and see exactly how much they really know on The Walking Dead TV show that is. So, getting started with us, let's just jump right into it, guys. Richard, we'll go in order. So, Richard, what is your number 5 episode of all time of The Walking Dead TV show?
My number 5 episode. First of all, it's really hard to have ranked these from 5 to 1, so there is such a narrow margin between my 5th and first one.
Yeah.
Just want to put that out there, and that it took me a long time to cut it down to 5 and put them in any kind of order.
This was not easy. I've got some clips as well, by the way, from certain episodes.
And I have 3 honorable mentions that I'll say for later as well, but if we have time for it. But my number 5 episode is actually the number 1 episode of Walking Dead, Days Gone By. I mean, this is what birthed the show. This is what brought us from the comic fandom into the television show. And while it wasn't exactly perfect, in my mind, it will always be a perfect introduction into this television world and Andy Lincoln Rick and, Stephen Young, Glenn, and just all of that. So it was, Frank Darabont brought the show to television. He wrote this episode. He directed this episode. It broke records. It had 5.35 million viewers for a cable show's premiere. That's pretty damn good. So so many things about the show. I mean, it didn't follow the comic exactly, but it mirrored it so well. The spirit was there. The don't open dead inside. All of that, following Rick on his journey to Atlanta. Everything. It just, I really enjoyed that episode.
I figured as a pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I figured this one might make others' list too, but it was really hard to not have it higher up the list. But my other ones, I just ranked a little bit better. But very good episode, and it's one that I'll go back and watch. I go back and watch the first season because it's just those 6 episodes. I watch that a lot. If I'm bored, I'll just pop it in. I love to, I have recordings of the black and white versions of it. It's fun. And I really enjoy the first season and that first episode.
That's cool. Well, I've got a little clip from that one, and I'm sure it may be on some other people's list, but let's just get us right into that. I'll play that right now.
Hey, listen, you even know what's going on? I woke up today in the hospital. Came home, that's all I know. But you know about the dead people, right? Yeah, I saw a lot of that. Out on the loading dock, hauling trucks. No, not the ones they put down. The ones they didn't. The walkers. Like the one I shot today. Is he rip into you? Try to eat you, take some flesh at least. Well, I guess if this is the first you're hearing it, I know how it must sound. They're out there now in the street? Yeah. They get more active after dark sometimes. Maybe it's the cool air, or hell, maybe it's just me finding that gun today. But we'll be fine as long as we stay quiet. Probably wander off by morning. Listen, one thing I do know, don't you get bit. I saw your bandage, and that's what we were afraid of. Bites kill you. The fever burns you out. But then after a while, you come back.
God, Lenny James is so good. I forgot how good he is. I mean, does anybody?
Spoiler, this is not the last time you're going to hear Lenny James tonight, or referred to, I'm sure, in some of these best episodes.
God, that's so great.
From my list, he's one of my favorite, not one of my favorite actors on the show, but one of my favorite characters as well.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was the first one to utter the term Walker.
Right, started with him. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, good stuff.
The white man gets the credit. I don't know.
It's too early for that, Aaron. Come on. Good choice for number 5. Days Gone By. I'm sure it'll be on some others' list. Russ, what's your number 5 pick?
Same as Chubb.
Oh,
Days Gone By.
there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Yep. Yeah, I had to have it on this list. Again, the first episode, well directed, well acted, set the tone. I think it was again kind of surprising how good it was. So.
Good stuff. Yeah, really great episode. Let's see, Jim, what's your pick for number 5?
Well, I have a tie at number 5 because I'm a big fat cheater.
Here we go. Man, you got to tie it up. All right, what do you got?
Yeah, okay. My tie at number 5 is Chupacabra with Merle and Daryl and The Grove.
So season 2 and season 6 episode. Okay.
Right, The Grove. I mean, Chad Coleman and Melissa McBride in that episode, the creepy little girl. So the acting. I noticed when I made this list that the ones that end up on my 5 are usually episodes with just a focus on a few like smaller group of characters rather than the whole ensemble. And this is a really good example of that. I just think the acting in this episode is really great. It has like parts and images in it that just still are kind of haunting afterwards. After all this
Look at the flowers, Jim.
Exactly. I mean, the catchphrase, look at the flowers from that. Plus, I mean, Carol. I made no bones that Carol's one of my favorite characters, and this is one of the strongest Carol episodes. Just a tour de force from Melissa McBride. The Chupacabra I wanted to shout out just because I love those episodes, that the hallucinations that Daryl has about Merle in that episode.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker and Norman Reedus really like playing off each other for the first time as brothers. I thought that was awesome moments in that episode, and I didn't want to forget it. So that's my tie for number 5.
All right.
The Grove is season 4, by the way.
Yeah, season 4.
Yep, season 4, episode 4.
I said season 6 or season 4.
Yeah, it made my honorable mention list.
Very good. Very good. And Aaron, what about your number 5, sir?
Okay, so I got a whole list here, and I've narrowed it down to 5, and I've ranked them and everything. But it was fun to put this together. It was interesting going back through all these, by the way, because I was interested in seeing how many earlier season episodes were placing rather high versus some of the later seasons. Since we all complained about a lot of people complained about season 2. There's a lot of season 2 episodes I like quite a bit.
My list skewed towards season 2 as well, actually.
Isn't that funny?
Same here.
Yeah.
A lot of that,
My number 4 is from season 2.
a lot of that, which is a shame because I don't have. Well, I kind of will get to that in a second, but Shane is a big part of that. I think John Bernthal did such a great job of that character that he did a good job as far as making a lot of episodes memorable for me. And speaking of season 2, my number 5 is the episode. The season premiere of season 2. What lies ahead?
Okay.
This was a 90-minute episode season premiere for season 2, which picked up right after the CDC blew up. For each of these, I wrote like little descriptions of the highlights that I can recall right offhand. And I have RV breaks, Herd arrives, Sophia gets lost, T-Dog gets stabbed, Daryl stabs, saves, and Carl gets shot. That's a lot of highlights right there. But this was a strong episode. It was a strong break back into The Walking Dead.
Right.
The season finale of 1 was a little underwhelming. It had some moments as far as the characters, but kind of what it was doing. It's like, all right, this one really kind of brought you back in. And what I can really remember, there's some great this is an episode that really emphasized how hot it is in Atlanta that they're shooting. There's a great shot of Rick standing behind a tree as a walker. He has a rock in his hand. He's about to go smash his walker in the face. But there's a good close up on Rick's face. He's just sweating.
Rick sweat going, right? Yeah.
Oh, he's got that going. And so he goes and then there's a scene with him and Daryl cutting open a walker to see if Sophia's inside of it, which is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Up the stuff with The Walking Dead. There's a great Daryl's become a fan favorite. I think this episode might have been the one that started it, where Daryl just comes in out of nowhere to save T-Dog and he stabs a zombie in the face, gets under a car with T-Dog and shh with his finger.
Under the zombie, right? Kind of
hide under a zombie under a car, and he's just saved T-Dog's life. It's just a great Daryl moment. And then cap it all off in the midst of all this, and what's his name? Andrew gets a great kill moment too in the RV.
That was the screwdriver, right? That was the
Screwdriver.
Oh yeah. T-Dog was the hero of that episode, right?
Well, no, he sliced his own arm open for no reason. That was his claim to fame.
Oh, he didn't save the kids in the orphanage in that episode.
No, they talked about that
Backstory.
later.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens in this episode, and it's a strong start. And I think right at the end, as you're getting all this great stuff that's happening, it's like how do we cap off this great season premiere? How do we just shoot Carl? it just sets you back down to remind you, this is a very nihilistic show. And by the end of it, the lead character's son gets shot as we rush somewhere. So it's just
As a fan of the comic books,
that
was a great moment.
Right, River Comics, yeah.
No, it's a great episode that pays tribute to the comic as well as continues to steer its own path. And again, it does a lot of the things that I like to see in an episode of The Walking Dead. So that's why season 2, episode 1, What Lies Ahead, is my number 5 episode.
Good choice. Yeah, that's a good one. And that was an hour and a half one too, wasn't it? That was
90 minute. That felt like it earned its 90 minutes as opposed to some recent ones.
let's not get started on that. Daryl, what was your number 5?
I think mine would be a surprise. It is episode 90, Swear, of this season, of season 7.
Okay.
And I liked it a lot because of it was a light Tara moment. Even though it was a dark story, I just had such a good time watching Tara swear and say the craziest things to all these these people, especially the women in this village, and how she just reacts to everyone. She has some of the best little lines that I think really worked, especially how far she's come from being an annoying character to me actually really digging her as a character and wanting to see more of her.
Yes.
She plays awkward voice.
Yeah, I really did like it.
She plays awkward very well.
Yeah, she does. She really does.
I don't. It's interesting because it almost seemed. I wonder how she. What am I trying to say? It almost seems like it's bad acting, but it's not bad acting. I legitimately get the feeling like she is channeling awkwardness. I think the show has such a decidedly dark tone. Her voice in the show is much different as far as how her attitude kind of jives with the rest of it. It helps that she's younger than a lot of the cast as well.
Right.
But it's not like it's attitude thing.
And she's not a super warrior. They have the warriors, and then they have everyone else that could get killed at any moment. And
the drama of her character is largely ended. Yeah. It was mainly focused on how she was involved in the whole governor thing.
Right.
Without that, she's just kind of another character that happens to be involved with this group.
And she got past that. Yeah.
What's the actress's name? I'm forgetting.
Masterson.
That's right. She has really good timing though. Her comedic timing. She'll deliver these quips, these lines, and I don't know, just the way the look on her face, just the whole delivery, those moments. That's what makes me really enjoy her character. And she didn't have that at first. At first, I think it was intentional. We were made to not trust and not like her, but I really didn't like her. And I'm with Daryl on this. She's really blossomed into something good.
And she gave a little finger to Rick and survives. Let's not forget that.
Totally.
Yep.
I want people to be more aware that Daryl was chosen I believe the lowest rated Walking Dead episode ever as one of his top favorite. One of them.
I didn't go for the easy.
At least of this season. I think probably kind of built up over the first couple seasons, but it's okay. But a lot of people didn't like. I like the went with it though. It's fun.
I had to do it.
That's all right. You're a Tara fan. All right, so my number 5 was season 3, episode 4, The Killer Within. And this is the one that kind of shocked us because we lost 2 main characters in this episode. We lost T-Dog and Lori. And seeing Lori get killed was enjoyable in and of itself. But just having the surprise of it, we never saw this before at this point. We never saw a main character, 2 main characters go in the 4th episode of a season. It's wait a second, what happened here? It really just amped up the whole rest of season 3 for me. The baby was born, and you see that scene with Rick crying at the end. That was very emotional, and the spawn of many, many memes on the internet. There was some good Woodbury stuff as well. We forget about that, but it really was. Even with the prison being overrun, they cut back to Woodbury, learning more about the governor, and Andrea's over there, and just a good, solid episode. But I hated to see T-Dog go. He was I liked him a lot. But seeing Lori go, that's gotta make my top 5. Come on,
I was glad he went because I wanted Tyrese.
You wanted so you knew they couldn't both be in the show at the same time.
2 black men cannot be on one show like that.
So it's funny. So we went from T-Dog to Oscar and then Tyrese. Right?
There are rules to the game, sir.
Gotcha. Okay.
I will say this was also the first episode that teased to death because you didn't know what happened to Carol.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. With her little scarf missing. They thought she was dead, and she wasn't. Yeah, you're right.
It's a good thing they never did that again with teasing
Uh-huh.
about characters dying.
But I don't think they took her name out of the credits, though, did they? I don't think so, right?
Well, no, they didn't troll fans with that.
Oh,
No,
okay,
that's
just making sure, guys. All right. All right, so this brings us up to our first trivia question, and Daryl, I'll start with you. I'll go in reverse order for the trivia. So, okay, this is a pretty easy one. Let's see. How does Rick kill Joe in the finale of season 4? He A, breaks his neck, B, bites him in the jugular, or C, stabs him.
I don't even
I don't remember Joe. I don't remember.
Oh, see, here we go.
I'm old. I'm old.
Somebody forget what you
Did he bite his jugular?
That is correct, sir. B, the correct answer.
I just
Good
thought it
guess.
was the sickest thing that Rick would do. And I channeled Rick's craziness and I won.
Joe the Claimer.
Yeah.
All right. So, Richard, we're going back up to you. Your number 4 pick.
All right, my number 4 pick is from season 2, episode 12, Better Angels, written by Evan Riley and Glenn Mazzarella and directed by Guy Ferland. So I really like one thing about this one, really, because in narrowing down my list, this one kind of bookends with episode 10 from that season, which is 18 Miles Out, where we're getting that where the Shane and Rick aggression is finally breaking to the point to where we get into this episode, Better Angels, where, spoiler alert, Jerry, Shane gets killed twice. Also in this little series, because like those 3 episodes, 10, 11, and 12 of season 2, is like its own little long episode. You know, this is where we first learned that, hey, those people turned and they weren't bit by anything. You know, what's going on? They're starting to really, think about the fact that, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Rick, he knows.
He knows.
He knows. Yeah,
In episode 6 of season 1. So he's the only one that still at this point knows that they're all infected.
But he didn't really know until he saw Shane turn. That was the key. Okay.
Right.
Meanwhile, most of us sitting at home like, we've seen zombie movies. Get it together, guys.
But I mean, really, for just the ending of this episode, everything with the Rick and Shane stuff finally coming to a head, Shane getting killed, and then Rick or Carl having to kill Walker Shane. I mean, so that little sequence was what was stood out most of this episode. And I think about this episode a lot just watching The Walking Dead, because I remember in season 1 they teased the whole scene from the comic books where Shane's holding the gun up to Rick and all of that other stuff, and kind of teased it, and it's like, oh, and then we get Shane longer, and then to see this death this way and to kind of flip the script, whereas in the comic, spoiler alert, Carl's the one that kills Shane outright. So
Shoots him in the neck or something like that, right? And kind of bleeds out or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
basically.
So I got a little clip from Better Angels. I'll play that right now.
Screw my wife, have my children call you daddy. Is that what you want? That life won't be worth a damn. I know you. You won't be able to live with this. What you know about what I can live with? You got no idea what I can live with, what I live with. We talk about what I can do, Rick. How about what you can do? Here I am. Come on, man, raise your gun. No, I will not. What happened, Rick? I thought you weren't the good guy anymore. Ain't that what you said? Even right here, right now, you ain't gonna fight for him. I'm a better father than you, Rick. I'm better for Lord than you, man. It's because I'm a better man than you, Rick, because I can be here and I'll fight for it. But you come back here and you just destroy everything. You got a broken woman. You got a weak boy. You ain't got the first clue on how to fix it. Raise your gun. You're gonna have to kill an unarmed man.
Man, Bertha, I forgot how good he was too. Wow. I miss him too. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Hold on.
He's great. Chuck, this is on my honorable mention list. Better Angels is a great episode. I mean, it's past the whole Dale flips out, and I start hating Dale a lot, but he's dead. Like, it kind of finishes off that storyline, but it gets back into the more interesting stuff involving Shane and Rick. And I finally Lee gets to that head where Shane gets killed and Carl shoots him again and kills him twice. And it's for people that listen to this podcast for a long time knows that might not be familiar. I used to say that basically the show is like, by having Shane on longer, it's similar to Back to the Future 2, where Biff steals the almanac and creates like an alternate timeline. It's the Walking Dead comic, and then like the Shane timeline is like him being on the show longer. So it's like it's made a lot of things different from what the comic is. That's how I've always kind of regarded it. And yeah, this is this is the end of Shane's line in this version of that universe, and it's a good episode for sure.
Yeah.
Russ, how about you, sir?
So my number 4 is No Tomorrow Yet. So season 6, episode 12. So I picked something a little more recent.
And refresh my memory. Which one is?
That's the assault on.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
It just the way that they kind of worked as a unit and a team, and they went in and kind of took out the armory, and then the way that kind of went sideways at the end. I just really liked that episode. It kind of was a nice change of pace, because I think the show kind of hit like a little bit of a lull, and that kind of picked things back up again. And kind of set it on the course that we're going to see probably for the next, certainly the rest of season 6, but definitely season 7 and probably into season 8 too. So
they were like a commando force. I love that scene. They just raid that facility like they're like Delta Force or something, or like SEAL Team 6. They were just amazing how they did that. Yeah, that was
because that's what the Sabres were, a bunch of yokels, didn't know how to do anything. Not like now.
Yeah, somehow that changed, right? Yeah,
overnight.
Jim, how about you?
My number 4 is Clear. Season 3, episode 12.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love the stuff with Carl and Michonne in this episode, where she breaks back into the diner to get the Boo Boo Kitty. That was a great scene. And then the shock of seeing Morgan in the state that he was in after the last, after we'd seen him at the beginning, the series, and then this is the first time we'd seen him in seasons or 3 seasons. He pops up and he's so broken and just kind of he's gone over the edge a few times. I mean, just really a powerful performance by Lenny James in this episode too, as always. I mean, but I love the way it focused on Rick and Morgan. I love the way it had moments with Carl and Michonne, and again, a lot of my top 5, and you guys are picking really great episodes too. But I realized that my top 5 is less plot driven and just more episodes I really enjoyed the character work or remembered scenes from, and this is definitely one. This episode really stuck with me after, especially like I said, the shock of seeing Morgan after all this time and then seeing him in the state he was in. Just really cool. And this is when Michonne was still pretty new to the show.
Right. I was gonna say,
we were kind of like
Michonne romance started, right? Like kind of the seeds were planted for it, right?
Even the bond with her and Carl.
Right.
That's the
The bond with her and Carl is great. And again, there are certain characters in the comics I really love. And I'll talk about, especially with my number 1 choice, where I wasn't sure about the acting, or I wasn't sure about the role, the person taking the role from the comic, whether they were going to really get to the part of the character that I really liked. And I was kind of on the fence about Denai Guerra as Michonne up until this episode. And this is when she sold me on her Michonne. I was like, okay, this is Michonne. I can get with this. Again, the moments with her and Carl are excellent. The beginning of her, having that kind of rapport with Carl, like you said, that plays out even now in the series. Strong episode all around. Just good writing. Directed by Scott Gimple, by the way, before he became showrunner. I think.
Scott M. Gimple.
Yes.
So,
Well, no, it was
Or
written.
directed by Fish Block.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And it had 11.2 million viewers, and I know this because I prepared it. It's my number 3, so yes, it's a great episode.
It was like
Mine
one of the
was 3
first.
as well.
Wow, okay. It was one of the first smaller episodes. Remember, everything was so ensemble, and it's always everybody. They actually broke it apart and only had 3 characters. This was one of the first times they did that. And they went back to that well like 100 times after, but this was like the first time I think they actually did that.
18 Miles Out.
Sorry, 18 Miles Out was Shane and Rick story, right? Then this one kind of also in that vein.
It was another one of those, which is what we were saying on the podcast at that time. We were saying we want more episodes that do focus on less of the ensemble.
Well, we got it, and maybe too much of it, but we got it. Yeah. Aaron, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is season 3, episode 8, the mid-season finale, Made to Suffer. I remember talking about this episode at the time as being basically a perfect episode of Walking Dead. It does everything that I wanted to do. This is the one that introduces Tyrese, so Daryl can right there.
Yes.
So yeah, it has a whole introduction that focuses on Tyrese, where it's like, oh, that's great. We finally get this to happen. Meanwhile, this is where like Rick and Michonne and some of the gang, they're going to Woodbury so they can rescue Maggie and Glenn. Who've been like they tortured in the previous episode, which is also a pretty strong episode as far as things are happening. Uncomfortable as it may have been for certain scenarios. So that's going on. And it also brings to head once they arrive, it brings Michonne and the governor back together. That leads to that knockout, drag out fight where they're on the floor. There's glass and he stabs her in the head in the eye. Look, that's pretty crazy. You even got a Shane tease where Rick like at one point sees Shane.
It's a Shane, right? Yes.
Yeah, like Wolverine Shane. Like he's
Like an X.
and then it concludes with Daryl and Merle being united for the first time in the show, besides June Carver, which didn't,
Dream sequence. Yeah.
which made what I thought was like one of the best cliffhangers of The Walking Dead. I mean, that's a great place to leave off an episode. You have Merle, who's still alive and is now found with his other group, being reunited with his brother, who has concern for his brother Shirley. He doesn't know what's going on. And suddenly they're being put in this cage match to the death. And that's
Gladiator match. Yeah.
that's amazing. That's a perfect like comic book ending to an episode. Like that's perfect. That's a great
I
way
miss those mid-season finales. That's what I miss. I love that stuff. End it right there. That's it. Done.
I'm sorry. I was going to say that was one honorable mentions. Again, that was a great episode. So much happened, and it was so, like you said, everything you mentioned is just it was incredible.
And it's because I'm as you recall, I'm not a huge fan of what they did with the governor. I didn't think they did a great job with handling his character. And so the back half of season 3, which had a lot more focus on the governor going bad, I was not huge on, let alone the return of it. So I really like the first half of season 3 quite a bit. There's a number of episodes that I think are quite strong. What's it, Seed? The premiere is one of my honorable mentions as well, where they find the prison and everything. But yeah, Made to Suffer. It's a really strong episode. Really, once again, as all of these on my list are, the ones that basically encapsulate what I want out of the show. That's certainly one of them.
And just to know, this is where Tyrese is introduced, right? But Oscar dies.
Yes, Oscar dies.
Okay,
Yeah,
just want to make that clear. Okay,
it makes sense.
Okay, just want to make that clear. Daryl, how about you? Number 4.
I picked season 4, episode I think 51A, where you have dealing with the claimers, and it had Rick and Michonne, and then later Daryl was helping them to get out, and they go towards Terminus, and this is kind of Rick's really turning into a savage, and when and that unit, and the invincible unit that they became with Daryl and Michonne, and when they find out what they were really doing to people in this Terminus, and then when they think that okay they got him and they put him into they lock him in the caboose train car, and Rick is like, it's all good. It's basically, he was like, they picked the wrong people to F with. We're just going to kill him. It's like he had that look on his face, and everyone looked at him like, what? Do you realize we're trapped? And I love that last little look on his face where he's completely crazy. He's like, Rick is completely, he is taken on everything that Shane said he should have done. Like Shane was like, you're not man enough. He was like, I'm man enough now. He's like, I'll kill every last one of them that threatens us.
See, if they made that episode now, they probably would have done an F-bomb drop where they just shot the audio, because they do that so much on other shows now. So they probably would have given them the actual line where it's like, they're effing with the wrong people instead of screwing with the wrong people.
Right. But they had that alternate cut in the DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, they do.
You know what he meant though.
But it's like, I wish AMC would sack up and actually let him have it.
I know.
And Link was pissed about it. He wanted to use that the one take where he used the F word, but they ended up using the other one.
You can tell with the look on his face and the way that, and Daryl just kind of synced in with the group, like, when he gets with Daryl, it's kind of like nothing bad can happen to them. They pretty much take care of business. And then you add Michonne to the mix, and it's like, no, we got this. It's okay.
These chumps don't know what they got waiting for.
To be fair, all of them were screwed unless Carol didn't come along. Like,
Number 3, we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's coming. I mean, Carol's the other one. Carol's the other one. When that group, it's the group, man.
So my number 4 was the same as Chubb's, Better Angels. So again, we talked about it. That's a great episode. We heard a clip. I mean, so much happened. They're wrapping up the Chain storyline, and just a really, really great way to wrap that up. All right, so on to trivia. Let's see who is next here. Going in reverse order. Aaron, you're next. You're up, sir.
Huh?
Okay, this is actually really good. Which is a title of a season 2 episode of The Walking Dead? Is it A, Home Turf, B, Dead is Dead, or C, Triggerfinger?
Triggerfinger.
Wow, you got it. Awesome.
That's the one after Nebraska. They deal with. I was going over all these episodes, guys. Get the list that's where was it? Rick and Terry, like Rick just shot them in the face, and now they have to deal with the aftermath of that.
You got it. That's exactly it. So good call.
That little punk Randall breaks his leg.
Randall, right? Yeah.
They have to drag him.
That's it.
I remember that one too, because that's where like Glenn and everyone had like shotguns and they're getting like headshots from like 50 feet away every single time they take a shot. It's like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing?
Even Herschel was taking people out with a little handgun. Right? He was
every single one of them was amazing with guns.
All right. Yeah. So Rich, going back up to you. Number 3 for you.
Well, number 3, like I said earlier, season 3, episode 12, Clear.
There you go.
I mean, this episode, we've already discussed it, but Lenny James, hands down, great. And to see him back, and again, the whole bond with Carl and Michonne starting, and just and the whole thing with Carl going to rescue that picture and all that. I mean, just it was a good episode. So I really enjoyed it.
Okay, Russ, you're number 3.
Yeah, same, Clear. I think we were clamoring for quite some time to get some depth out of Michonne and to see her evolve and to participate in the show, other than just kind of standing there looking, scowling, not really showing any personality. And so this episode did that, number 1, but then the bonding between her and Carl was really something. I remember at the time being really positive on this. And then, of course, like we said, Lenny James coming back was just a nice bonus. So Clear.
That's it. Good one. Jim, you're number 3.
My number 3 was No Sanctuary, or as I like to call it, Carol kicks everyone's ass.
Nice.
Season 5, episode 1, the girl Carol goes in and saves the day from Terminus. Just all out action, balls out action.
So good. So good.
It's like one of my favorite. It's also, I'm looking at IMDb now, it's rated 9.6. It's one of the highest rated episodes of the show.
Nick Carol.
It's
incredibly satisfying to watch, that's for sure.
And Carol's always been one of my favorite characters, and just to see her
she's like Rambo.
Captain Competence in this episode was just incredible. She was a commando. It was great, and I love to see it. So.
She kills Tasha Yar too. I mean, it's great. I have a clip from that one. I'll play that now.
Wasn't it?
I'm curious. And it was a big bag. You really want me to do this?
Let me take you out there. I'll show you.
Not gonna happen. This might.
There's guns in it. AK-47, 44 Magnum, automatic weapons, night scope. There's a compound bow and a machete with a red handle. That's what I'm gonna use to kill you.
That pretty much sums it up, huh? Great stuff. The opening scene too was chilling with the, you know, the
Oh yeah, because they're slicing open necks,
Necks,
like the thing, including the Penguin who's on Gotham now, Robert Taylor.
exactly that was just
Yep.
still
And they
sticking.
keep running through the warehouse and finding more and more creepy stuff in the room with all the writing in it and all the names. And,
Right,
Yeah,
never
it's a great-
again or something. Yeah,
It's a,
right.
Yeah,
it's, a
yeah.
great, it's a great amusement park haunted house ride. That's for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Universal Studios Halloween tour. Yeah.
It was great to hear Daryl talk about that last episode because this was the payoff from that. You know, just great. Still one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Yeah,
It was great for me.
Aaron.
I want to just to backtrack on that one real quick because it didn't make my it's not my honorable mention either, but the episode 4 Walls and a Roof that is an honorable mention. That follows up on the termites because that's when Gareth and everyone gets killed.
That's what Rick makes good with his with his threat there.
That's the it's a good payoff to a good start.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as my next three are these are all the ones I knew were going to be on my list right away. So they're basically splitting hairs as far as the ranking, but this is my 3. It's Clear, like you guys mentioned.
Okay.
I do think Clear is a terrific episode, easily one of the best episodes of The Walking Dead. It does everything right for me as far as it gives the characters room to breathe. It has Lenny James back, who I think is terrific, and like Jimmy was saying, it really confirms Michonne as a strong character as far as representing both the comic form and what the actress Meg Guerrero is able to kind of do with that performance, as well as give Carl something to do as well, having him be able to latch onto somebody. It's strong work there. There's a lot of good stuff as far as the kind of thematic work. There's a whole thing about this hitchhiker that they see at the beginning of the episode, and at the end of the episode they find the hitchhiker's dead at that point. And
Grab the backpack. Yeah.
he still stops the car to grab the backpack, exactly, because like, well, that's what we got to do. There's a whole bunch of setup involving Morgan, where before you know Morgan's around, we just know somebody's in the town, because this is where Rick is from. Like that's where they go back to his hometown essentially to find stuff. And like they go to a house and there's all these signs and traps and like things that they're like lining up. It's like I warned you and whatnot. There's like axes set up to come down and crush a guy and things. There's all this crazy stuff going on. So you finally get to Morgan who's dressed up like a commando. But yeah, it's just and then you see how broken down he is at this point because he lost his son and all this.
Yeah.
It's just a really strong, well written episode all around. It was one that really showed me what. Because given that I was dealing with a lot of governors that I didn't like, I was like, oh yeah, the show can be really good when it wants to be. So that was that's why Clear is very high on the list.
Good one. Daryl, you're number 3.
Well, my brother Jim took it from me, but it was my next one because of the episode I picked before. But season 4, episode 52, No Sanctuary. It's basically I picked it because Jim made me pick it for the same reason. Carol came in and took care of business. Like when she goes protect the group, it's done. Like the switch goes off. It is so. That's what we wanted to see. Like I know I wanted to see that. I want to see the group take care of business, and this is definitely she went out there and just took care of business and took everybody out and saved her people and moved on, and they're ready to go.
Yeah, it was good. A lot of action. I love the end of that one where they reunite with Carol. Because Carol was marooned for pretty much half that season, right? Rick marooned her.
right.
He was exiled.
He was exiled, right? I mean, so
You gotta go.
Yeah,
That episode where he exiles her indifference. That's
Yeah.
one of my honorable mentions. Actually, I think it's a very good
You
two-handed.
can't be here.
Right. and then when they reunite, you go, "This was you." Yeah. Good stuff, man. My number 3 was actually Too Far Gone. Was that season 4, episode 8, and this is where the governor returns
That's a good one.
and
That's
takes prison.
That's where Daryl kills a tank.
This is I wrote. Can I read you my notes, please? Because I knew you were going to say that.
Sorry,
No. I knew you were going to say that. So I wrote, governor comes back to take the prison. They kill Herschel. Daryl blows up the tank, and then I wrote kill them all. Those are my 4 notes on that one. So
There's Daryl blows up a tank, but there's Daryl kills a tank.
He kills a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kills a tank.
he kills the tank. And then
This
they
is
ride
an
the
honorable
tank.
Street Prejudice.
Didn't break a sweat.
That's an honorable mention for me.
Me too. It was on my
my number 2.
as well.
All right, so I'll play the clip when we get to Chubbs in, since he says it's number 2. But yeah, great
Oh, you
episode.
can play it now.
Okay, I'll play it right now. Too Far
Because
Gone.
aren't we going to me next anyway? So
You're right. So I'll play it right now. Too Far Gone. Here it is.
Let go of all of it. And nobody dies. Everyone's alive right now. Everyone's made it this far. We've all done the worst kinds of things just to stay alive. But we can still come back. We're not too far gone. We get to come back. I know. We all can change. Liar.
That's when Kylo Ren kills Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the governor's the last Jedi. Yeah, that's Chewbacca right there. Oh, great one. That was so good.
yeah, this one. I mean, there's so many reasons it's already been mentioned, and just listening to that clip, why this made my number 2. But one thing that just stands out the most, besides Daryl killing a tank, is the death of Herschel. I mean,
Yeah.
that was really a tough scene, or just that sequence. I mean, there's so many pieces that were moving around that, but just that focusing in on that was tough to watch, and man, they just did it so well.
He did.
Yeah, it was a very good episode.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, and the way I think Herschel developed so much more in the show than he did in the comics, and he was just great. Like everyone's father. He was the father figure of the whole group and the conscience, and he just was so great. I didn't want to see him leave either. I mean, I knew I guess once the prison was done, he couldn't hobble with the group, and I guess that was the end of it. But man, he was great. It was sad to see him go. It really was.
That governor. You hate that governor.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I love the character anyway, and I love the character in the comics too. But losing Dale so early in the television show, we needed that. I don't know. To me, he just kind of took that place, that voice, and just
And he was likable.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
they did a character that did him right through another character, and basically made the comic version of Herschel better because the comic version of Herschel's a raging asshole.
Right,
So
he's
that's-
cursing people,
exactly.
he's yelling all the time. Right, yeah, it's not him. Yeah. All right, so we kind of skipped over the trivia, though. I want to get back to that for 1 second. So actually, Jim, you're up.
Okey-doke.
All right. Who kills Big Tiny in season 2 of The Walking Dead? Is it A, Glenn, B, Tyrese, or C, Tomas?
I will say A.
That's incorrect, sir.
Ah,
The answer is
Tomas?
C, Tomas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because he lived Moss.
Because if you remember, he got bit, right? And then they didn't give him a chance to like live for 3 seconds after that. Tomas just took him out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. All right, so
It happens.
it's fun.
Well.
All right, so Russ, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is season 2, episode 8, Nebraska.
That's my number 1.
And this was I flip flopped on this one between number 1 and number 2 probably 3 or 4 times in the last couple days because I was really torn over this one. And again, a lot going on. The aftermath of everything with the barn. The only thing I think what finally kicked it to number 2 was Lori flipping the car. That whole bit. Because I remember when we talked about this on the show, I dinged my Buster rating of the episode because of that. Because it was just so like seriously, she's gonna flip the car. It's ridiculous. That's why it was just so.
No traffic.
There's nobody on the road.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm overshadowing the awesomeness with the one moment of weakness, and it's that what really puts it over the top is that last scene when they catch up. They're looking for
Herschel.
Yeah, they're looking for Herschel.
At the bar.
They find him in the bar, and Michael Raymond James is there, and it's with Dave and Tony, yeah, are there, and they just have that. It's that tension just builds and builds and builds and builds.
Tony like takes a leak like right there on the floor. He doesn't even go to the bathroom or
Yeah.
whatever. Just like, oh man.
Yeah, and these guys are bad news. And then Rick just pulls out the gun and just blows them both away. It's just like that was the moment for me. I think the show just really showed what they could do with this. And at times it's obviously had ups and downs, but this was a really well done moment for the series. In my opinion.
That was the Rickest Rick moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I was gonna say,
let me play that Rick moment for all of us. Here we go.
Oh, get out there. It's like, yeah, I do. But the farm is too crowded as is. I'm sorry. You'll have to keep looking. Keep looking. What do you suggest we do that? I don't know. I hear Nebraska's nice. Nebraska. This guy.
That was good.
Love it.
I can't believe you picked that for number 2. I thought no one would remember that episode but me.
Oh man, like I said, I fought with myself quite a bit about making this number
I
1.
wonder if your number 2 is your number 1's my number 2 though.
Maybe
Let's see. We'll get there. So Jim, what's yours?
My number 2 is 18 Miles Out.
There you go.
Season 2, episode 10. Just because it was Rick and Shane just beating the crap out of each other, man. Oh my God, it was Curtis Dickerson directed. It's all down. I mean, just Rick. I mean, we've had all this tension between Rick and Shane since episode 1, season 1, just building and building and building to a head, and just watch them come after it and just beat the crap out of each other in this episode was just incredible.
Yes.
To me. I mean, and then the little things about the episode too. We see the same Walker at the beginning of the episodes. We see at the end.
In the weed, and they use that little clip in the current opening now.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
The guy in the suit, right, with long hair. He's kind of in the brush. Yeah, that's
I
pretty
know
cool.
there's one shot where Bernthal's like he's standing in front of a window, and like his reflection is in the window as a zombie bursts through it. I mean, just remember like the blocking of the shot incredibly well because it was just a really interesting way to to frame it or whatever. All the tensions they'd had for like almost like 2 whole seasons just came to a head in this episode, and just they got it all out. And just great acting from Bernthal and Andrew Lincoln. Again, it's another episode that just focuses on a few characters. The moral dilemma of what they're going to do with Randall, going back and forth on whether they're going to kill him or not.
Right.
Again, written by Scott Gimple and Glenn Mazzara. Just a great episode, and again, another really intensely focused episode on just these 2 characters and their play off each other. I mean, we do get the stuff with Beth and the suicide and everything.
Yeah, it was a little, no.
But I mean, it just kind of was kind of took you away from what I thought was the main event of the episode. So my number 2 is definitely 18 Miles Out.
Now, who directed that one again? Was it Dickinson? You said?
Ernest Dickerson directed it, and Gimple and Mazzara wrote it.
He did this great callback to Tarantino. He did that in the trunk shot, kind of looking up when
Yes.
Randall was in there. I love that
Yes.
too. That was so cool.
There's a great kill.
Driver's Seat. I'm sorry, real quick. Driver's Seat. That song.
Yeah.
By oh God, I'm gonna forget.
Whatever it was, callback
I
to
put that in my
Boogie
mix, and it's been on my MP3 player mix ever since that episode.
Nights.
And the thing about the back half of season 2, those 3 episodes, episode 10, 11, and 12, that really was Glenn Mazzara that was putting his stamp on I'm running the show now. I mean, you could definitely tell a tonal change between the first half of the season
Right.
and where they were here. So
And I like where they were going. They were deviating actually really far from the comics in a lot of these. And
Yep.
I mean, obviously, I guess Kirkman and aware AMC didn't like that so much, and then hence he's gone. But I kind of like where that was going. But we'll never know. That's it now.
I liked it too, except for I don't know, just he was a little too cinematic. I mean, dragging out things. I don't know, just I loved what the first half of the second season, though. It was apparent that he was a little off the rails in some spots of dragging things out.
Yeah, because the Darabont scripts were still there, I think. So
Well, he did get the Well Walker though. The Well Walker was cool.
Looking back at season 2 again, I like a lot of those episodes, like as a whole, like for both sides of it. There's one on my honorable mention called Save the Last One that has Shane and Otis trying to like find stuff, and then Shane kills Otis eventually. Like that's a great up, and like Shane shaves off all his hair out of guilt until he doesn't get found out that he did what he did. Like there's some really cool stuff in there.
That's an honorable mention I had. Save the last
Yeah,
one.
it's a good
episode.
Honorable
It's a good
mention, yeah.
I thought about that one too, but as a fat guy, knowing that we're the ones that are going to get sacrificed first in the zombie apocalypse,
Sure.
I
Well,
couldn't
you
put
tell
that one on my list. So
Ooh, child, I'm saying.
going back to 18 Miles Out, there's a great kill shot where like 3 walkers pile on top of Rick and he just takes one shot and kills 3 of them in the head right in a row.
he sticks the gun in the mouth of one of them, right? And goes right
Yeah,
through,
yeah,
Right, and shoots the other one through the back of the head of the one. Yeah.
It's like, take out like someone throw a motorcycle at somebody or something. Doesn't Shane throw a motorcycle at
He
Rick?
does.
It falls on him or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's like-
He throws a wrench at him too, right?
It was
Monkey. Yeah.
Yeah, they were angry.
There's some black stuff in that fight, yeah.
It's like WWF. Yeah, pretty much.
Aaron, you're number 2.
My number 2 is the pilot episode, which you mentioned, Days Gone By.
Days Gone By, yep.
The one which I'm surprised not higher than you guys was. I think this is a terrific episode of just television in general. When you have Frank Darabont directing an episode of television and shooting in 16mm, you establish this episode does everything as far as the show. Like it establishes exactly what show you're watching from the first seconds, because the first scene of the show is Rick coming upon a random little girl and shooting her in the face because she's a zombie. It's like, oh yeah, this is the show we're watching, guys. Like this is gonna be intense. And it gives you all the world building. It gives you why Rick is in the situation he is, why he's it makes you a great audience through him because you're waking up with him in this new world. You establish Shane and Rick's dynamic a bit before things move forward in time, and you establish Morgan, who as we mentioned, Lenny James, he's a very strong force on the show, and I very much am happy to have him around longer these days. But the construction of this episode is pretty terrific. Speaking of the Morgan stuff, actually, there is a great, you get a lot of Morgan's character you're not going to see again for, a few years. You get a lot involving his own life, where he has like his wife is a zombie who's walking around outside constantly, and he has to hesitate to shoot her when he's taking out zombies at night.
Yeah.
There's the whole Rick goes into Atlanta on a horse that, it's an iconic shot of him on the horse on the freeway and whatnot, followed by him getting into town, getting swarmed by a horde, including Buster, our favorite Walker. And the whole Rick goes into the tank, and then all the walkers are just swarming on top of it. There's just some great well composed shots of this episode. Well, it's just very entertaining. The whole, it's basically it's like a short feature. It's probably like 75 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Without commercials. The black and white version, which I was very happy to get on Blu-ray, is a great way to watch it as far as preserving the kind of look of the comic book and seeing how that plays in a cinematic form. Like does everything really well. I was very happy. That's why I stuck with the show, because that first episode was so strong. I didn't doubt it because Frank Darabont was doing it at the time. I was like, why wouldn't I want to watch a show based on favorite comic books directed by him? But yeah, it still stands up. As you can tell, it's number 2 on my list. It's one of the high marks of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, and one of the things that comes out of that just never was, I still would like to have seen what Darabont had planned for that bottled episode of just the whole thing with the guy in the tank.
Yeah, the army unit.
Everything that happened with the army and the fall of Atlanta and all of that stuff that he was planning, and we never got. But I still, after hearing that described, I'm like, man, I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, that's good. Daryl, how about you? Number 2.
I don't know if anybody picked Four Walls and a Roof. Did somebody?
I mentioned somebody said
mentioned
that.
it.
Oh, okay. Well, that was my pick. It was season 5, episode 54. It was just something emotional about it. When they barricade, you find out about the great preacher Gabriel, what he's done, and that poor Bob. You know what happens to Bob when he leaves the church after he
Tainted meat.
Sacrifice him, kind of just saying, eat me, it's fine, I don't care, poison you anyway. And then you think and I was so mad when you're like, Rick, don't follow him all the way over there. Don't follow Gareth, like the group, and go way out. And Gareth is coming to pretty much kill them in the church. And when Rick and company come in, I was so happy to watch them murder.
He's like, why didn't you shoot me? I had to waste the bullets.
Yeah, just to see them just pretty much wipe them out. Like, it was just vindication to get these guys. I've been wanting these guys to get killed for the last 2 episodes. It was just and just the reaction of them they were the big bullies. They were the bullies, and the reaction of them coming against a force that was stronger than they were. And it was just the way they played it. It was just so satisfying to see those kills.
And the way they killed him was gruesome. I mean, you saw Rick with a machete on Gareth, and you saw like Sasha stabbing this guy 100 times in the neck. The one that was hassling Tyrese, that guy.
Yes,
right?
gotta go.
Stabbed him 100 times in the throat, the neck. I mean, it was just great. And,
and if they say this, if people say this show brings out the worst people when they watch it, so what? They deserve to die. And I hope they burn in hell. So that was definitely an episode that I never will forget.
I mean, as one that likes to dig into, I don't know, the psychology behind people's responses to The Walking Dead, but I can look at it. I'm not going to go too far in depth with it. I do think there's obviously it's a heightened universe, and I'm not going to there's a level of justification for the actions going on, but I think it does paint a pretty interesting portrait of Rick's frame of mind and how he goes about taking care of this horrible group of people. And that's why I really like this episode. I mean, because there's not everybody's cool with like how things go down in this episode. Like, there's the group that actually go through with it, but they're also the ones that are looking at what's happening and they're not sure about like how this is played out and if they want to keep proceeding down this line.
Yeah, especially Glenn.
Glenn especially. Yeah, and Rick in this season, I like the arc for Rick in this season particularly because there is a lot of how far is he willing to go after season 4, where he basically bites out Joe's neck. Yeah. And from there, it gets him to pretty dark places where he gets to the point of being super crazy by the end of the episode, where he gets to Alexandria and kills Porchdick and is covered in blood and all this stuff. Right. Or he gets in a brawl in the street with Porchdick before he kills Porchdick. There's a lot of interesting things going on as far as the mind of these characters. And I think Four Walls of Roof, it's a really interesting episode to me. Beyond just the visceral thrills of seeing how things play out, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on as far as the themes of the show.
Yep. So my number 2 was No Sanctuary. So we already talked about that one. That's a season opener of season 5. Season 5, episode 1. Again, just the badass Carol is Rambo. I mean, Rick mowing down those termites with the AK-47. He's got like 7 or 8 of them, just live ones, not walkers, just like boom, just mowing down people like crazy. I loved it. The nonstop action, the reunited at the end. I just loved it. If they can sprinkle that in a little bit more, I'm more of the action junkie, I guess, and that really was very satisfying to me to see pay back these guys that were terrible. These were bad guys. So it was really, really good to see that. So we're on to trivia now, and I think it is Russ's turn. Russ, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. In season 4, what is painted on the back windshield of the car that Beth is kidnapped in? Is it A, wings, B, cross, C, skull?
Cross.
Cross is correct, sir. Very good. You guys are nailing this trivia today.
I just want to say the only question I have not known was the one you asked me. I know every single other one.
And I want to say I give my appreciation to Jim for getting it wrong, so that when I get mine wrong, because I probably will, I won't be the only one.
Yeah, but we're still gonna make fun of you more.
Oh, okay. Well, of course.
To Jim's defense, I would have gotten that one wrong too. Or if I got it right, it would have been because I just totally guessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, here we are, folks. We're up to our number 1 episode of The Walking Dead. Again, starting with Richard Chubb. What is your number 1?
All right, let me get a drum roll going.
Get a drum roll.
Actually, this episode means a lot to me. It wasn't so much the character leaving the show as much as the actor. But there was a lot of scenes in this that are really good. But just the ending scene between 2 brothers and what happens in season 3, episode 15, This Sorrowful Life, where we see Daryl having to kill Zombie Merle. And I mean, there's a lot that happens. I mean, this, in this episode, but that really sticks out in my mind. And I mean, when I think of Walking Dead, it's weird that 2 characters that are not in the comic book at all are the 2 things. They're the one moment that sticks out in my mind the most in the show is those 2 brothers in that end scene. So it was powerful to me.
Good up.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best Merle episodes too. I mean, really, you see a lot of sides of him. He talks to Daryl, and he's, then he kind of has this breakdown, like change of heart with Michonne. Michonne kind of breaks him down a little bit, and he's trying to decide is he a good guy, is he a bad guy, and he really, comes to terms with all that and sacrifices himself, honestly, at the end.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, I love Merle. I wish they could. I mean, obviously he's too big for the show a little bit, but I mean, they could kept him on a little longer. I wouldn't have minded.
Well, it's interesting. I have here what Robert Kirkman's explanation on his death was, and it's to quote him here. It says, "Important to note that running out of story isn't a reason to kill a character. Having more story to mine isn't a reason to keep a character alive. It's what story comes out of it, and what does the story change with death." Daryl Dixon has become a very important character in the show, and his character had changed and evolved in interesting ways over the course of the first 3 seasons. Having Merle back was always planned to be somewhat of a temporary thing. We wanted to see how Merle's return would affect that character, and seeing Daryl revert to past behavior, to bad behavior, was something we really wanted to explore. But in the end, Daryl had moved past that character, and we wanted to get back to him not having that brother altering his behavior moving forward or influencing him in any way. Merle's death was really about activating Daryl in an interesting way that will pay off in season 4, which it did.
I couldn't afford him on the renegotiate. That's what that really means, right?
Pretty much.
I feel like that got just enough of Merle. I feel like they did a really good job of giving him time separate from Daryl to reintroduce him to the show, so he doesn't have the brother to interact with, and then having the couple episodes they did, putting them back together again to show what that interesting dynamic that would be, given how Daryl has evolved over the course of the show. I thought they did a good job of that.
And what's interesting, like for you Super Marvel fans there, Aaron, is Rooker was approached for Guardians of the Galaxy before this, and he wasn't going to be able to do it except for a small cameo. And after he found out that he was exiting Walking Dead, that gave him a bigger role into what he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. So ultimately, this turned out to be a win-win
I don't know about that.
Walking Dead and Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know about that.
You don't like Guardians?
No, shut
You
up.
didn't know that?
Shut up.
I don't know. Usually Daryl and I are talking DC, so we don't talk Marvel very much. I did not know that. Well, it's not, yeah.
You might have forgot. I don't know why you would forget. But
I was gonna say he's pretty.
He's like the
Had
one
that
person.
conversation.
He's the one person who doesn't like Guardians.
Given what I saw at Comic Con, there's a lot to expect from Michael Rooker in Volume 2. Just saying. I will say this, by the way, you're gonna throw me under this Marvel does. I own far more DC comics than I do Marvel comics, which is why I want this movie to be better.
Russell, what's your number one?
Yeah, so mine is 18 Miles Out.
All right.
And again, I think this was the first.
We get to say 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Honestly, less than 30 minutes before we started recording, I had Nebraska number 1 for quite some time, and then I flip flopped them. But this was one of the first episodes, character focused or mostly character focused. I think the Rick and Shane dynamic was what we were kind of clamoring for. We knew that things were going to come to a head with those two, and it did. And just the concept of them having to take this guy and instead of just putting a bullet in his head and burying him out where they were, they were just literally going to drive him out and take him far enough away that he couldn't be a problem anymore. It was just kind of an interesting, especially because this happened after Nebraska. So we know that Rick had no compunction to, put a bullet in somebody who he felt was a threat. So there was a lot of interesting things going on in this episode. And I think it was well directed. I think it was well edited, and I just liked the smaller nature of it compared to, again, very ensemble cast, fairly large cast. To kind of go with a smaller episode, I really appreciated that.
Yeah, it's a good one. Jim, you're number one.
My number 1 was Nebraska. It's amazing. Like the two of us had the same number 1 and number 2. Not only the scene that we talked about, the Rick moment, up to that point.
In Rickstery.
Yes, in the dictatorship. That came out later. But not only that. This is where we really started to get more of the depth on Herschel, because up to that point, Herschel was just being, he's kind of closed off from the group. Kind of like you could say, but sit down on these rules and everything. And just kind of Scott Wilson kind of started to give character of Herschel, at least in my mind, rewatching the episode, a little more depth in this episode. Kind of get a little more of the backstory, a little more of the reasoning behind why he did what he did with the barn and everything. And again, that moment there that you played the clip of before, and it's just amazing. I know I keep saying it, but I didn't think anyone would think of or mention this episode, even in this top 5 recap. But Nebraska is my number 1.
Who would have thunk that all these season 2 episodes are leading our lists out of the whole series? That's like
It's crazy.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because we lament season 2. Oh, it was so slow. It was this and that. We go back. There's actually some really, really good episodes in there. Wow. Huh. Aaron, you're number 1.
Well, speaking of season 2, I have an episode from season 6.
Touché, sir.
Because you don't get paid by the segue.
That episode is season 6, episode 4. Here's Not Here. This is the
yeah.
episode focused entirely on Morgan.
Eastman.
No other characters from the main cast except Morgan, and I guess a Wolf cameo, and yes, the character of Eastman, played by John Carroll Lynch, great character actor, and of course Tabitha the Goat. How could we forget?
Rest in peace, Sally. Yes, she was great.
This is such a giant swerve as far as Walking Dead was concerned. It came after the whole is Glenn not dead Glenn? Is Glenn dead or not episode? It's like, all right, that happened. And rather than sad,
Schrodinger's Glenn.
at the same time, I'm thinking so we're not going to answer this Glenn question this week. That's frustrating. I'm thinking, I also get this great 90-minute episode focused entirely on how Morgan gets out. And it is a perfect episode of television. I think it did everything wonderfully, even without adding anybody else in the cast. I was very happy to see such a great dedication to justifying how this character is the way he is, why he's so dedicated to being this way as far as his Aikido training and his art of peace studying.
Right.
I thought it was a great introduction of character that's only around for one episode, but John Carroll Lynch is such a great actor, and the two of them play off each other so well that I didn't mind that I'm just spending time outside of everything else going on to watch this take place. I thought there's a lot of great thematic work here as far as Morgan's character, who established in the first episode of the very first episode of the series, getting to clear and getting to this point, even after already being reintroduced to the character, getting more of that backstory of how he got back to being the way he is currently.
Oh, yeah,
I love
exactly.
seeing that. It's such a great diversion from the plot, yet it seems so essential given what Morgan represents in the grand scheme of things, given what Rick's mind frame is, what Carol's mind frame is, and where Morgan is. They're very different, and they become, the three of them, among other things here. They're very different, kind of endpoints of the show as far as what it's trying to do. And having an entire episode that gives you all of that, since you don't have the luxury of having Rick with you and Carol with you for the majority of the series, this did a great job of catching me up exactly with where this guy's mind is, why it's that way, why he's so dedicated to that art, as well as just being a really cool episode. There are some good zombie deaths, there's some good fight sequences, there's good character dialogue,
Cheesemaking.
there's good cheese making.
Yes.
There's one of the best story arc dovetails in The Walking Dead for me anyway. Is you have Morgan and Rick in the first episode, right? Then you have Clear where Morgan is out of his head and Rick is relatively sane, right? Then we have the next time Rick and Morgan meet again, Rick is bloodied, has his gun out, and he's like
He just killed Fortune, yeah.
He just killed Fortune, covered in the dude's blood. And Morgan, because of this episode, and it was one of my honorable mentions because I love this episode as well, Aaron, it really stood out for me. Morgan has found his way back from that insanity just in time to see Rick go over the edge. And I always thought that was one of the best story arc dovetails that they've done in this series. I just thought it was great.
Completely agree. And the season 5 finale conquers one of my mentions as well. That's where Morgan finally, he's been kind of teased in the little after credits things, but that's when he finally arrives and he takes down the wolf in the opening scene.
Right.
But there's that great moment where Aaron and Daryl are about to get, basically killed by zombies. They're all outside the car they're hanging out in. And then Morgan arrives and saves them. And Daryl asks him why, or Aaron asks him why. And Morgan's response is, because all life is precious. And it's just like, it's like, I don't know where that's coming from, but that's great. That is a great
Right.
read, that line. It's perfectly so. Given that I don't know too much about Morgan's way of life beyond just seeing him interact with things, that's just a great encapsulation of everything he seems to represent. And getting a whole episode that, really digs into what that line of dialogue means to him, I thought is terrific. And that's why this is my number 1 episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, very good. Daryl, you're number 1, sir.
My number 1 is season 2, episode 7, pretty much dead already.
Hey.
That's
That,
sensing a trend.
that episode where we go through the whole thing with the barn and what's in the barn and where's Sophia, and when we finally open up that barn and those zombies come out and we see at the end, see little Sophia, zombie Sophia walking out, and Rick has the shooter dead. I think that was really the beginning of the descent of the group, especially Rick. Like that killed a little part of all of them when that happened. I think there was just that hope, Daryl went through the whole thing of I can find her, and it was almost like if we find Sophia, we kind of find the hope that we lost being stuck in this world, right? And you don't get it. There is no happy ending for this thing. And it's a child. And for it to be a child and to not get that happy ending that usually TV likes to do, well, American TV likes to do, especially to have a little happy reunion, and we just don't get it. This is the world we're in. This is the horrible world. People die, good or bad, they die, and it just had meant something. It was just that moment.
I love how Shane loses it a little bit too in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
He's done.
Yeah,
He's like, did.
Right.
Shoot the things over and over again.
Yeah, happy to come back from that. Boom, just shot, headshot.
Whatever part, I think that was what killed Shane. Period. Like whatever part of humanity Shane had left, I think that's it. I think that was it.
Yeah,
He's
probably.
done.
He tells Dale, he's pretty much Dale already, right? He's pretty much Dale already. Isn't he?
He's done.
Like, because I really love the end of this episode. Like, just my biggest problem with it is the whole Dale stuff. Where this is where Dale steals all the weapons and like runs
Yeah.
away.
Takes a garbage bag and hides him in the woods somewhere, right? Yeah.
Like, Dale is such like I just couldn't handle it.
So silly.
But then Shane was the best, like, oh, we haven't been in the woods lately. We don't know where this is, right? He's like, come on.
I was always so sad that TV Dale never lived up to comic book Dale. You know?
Yeah.
I agree. 100% agree.
Between him and Tyrese, those are two
Right,
guys.
Tyrese is the other one. Yeah.
Tyrese started out strong.
Yeah, and
That's
then
true.
and went down a slippery slope.
Once Carol burned his girlfriend, then yeah, everything went to hell. Tyrese set him on fire.
One of my favorite done deaths.
Also Carol.
That episode where he died is really good, though, the way they did
Oh yeah,
They brought the governor back. Remember that in the flashback?
That's
Tyrese,
pretty
yeah.
funny, but yeah, the rest of it I really enjoyed.
Oh.
That's it. All right, so my number one is season 3, episode 1, Seed, and
All right.
this changed the whole show for me because it really, if you remember, we ended season 2. You know, this is not democracy anymore. It's the beginning of the dictatorship. The whole cold open, it was they didn't speak one word. They were like this finely honed team that just took this house. They didn't say one line of dialogue the whole thing because they had survived the whole winter on their own between the end of season 2 and the beginning of season 3. Then they find the prison. They take the prison. I mean, we got the introduction of stuff and things. Okay, from Rick, we heard that line. I mean, there was we lose Herschel's leg. I mean, it was so much happened in this episode, but it was just triumphant. Like our group took this prison down with nothing. Like they just totally owned it. I love seeing that. There was even a little scene I remember when Rick was like firing off one of the towers. He smiles for half a second. I'm like, gee, Rick actually smiled. Like it's like wow, they actually had some kind of triumph, and I thought that was really really important. But it set the tone for the whole rest of season 3, I think, and I think pretty much the rest of the show because they went from being afraid of everything, afraid of the walkers in the woods, and afraid of everybody. Like now they're more of a fighting force. Everybody, including Maggie, even Carl. They had silencers on their guns now, which they didn't have before. Like they really it stepped up their level of badassness a lot, and I thought it was great. So I got a little clip from that one. I thought it would be on more of your list, but I got a little clip from that one. Stuff and thanks.
We can handle it. I know it. These assholes don't stand a chance.
I appreciate everything you're doing, and we all do. But it's been a tough march, and they're exhausted. Can we just enjoy this for a few days?
Oh,
Maybe we'll be here in a few days. It's no time for a picnic.
No, it's time to get the house in order.
What do you think I'm doing?
Your absolute best.
Don't patronize me.
I'm not. I'm just saying, the baby is about to be here, and we need to talk about
About what?
things we've been avoiding.
You want to talk to Herschel? I'm doing stuff for Lori. Thanks. Isn't that enough?
and here's Herschel's leg being chopped off.
So good. Let's get in there. Swish, swish, swish.
You can count the squishes. Yes, yes.
Here's the one.
Rick goes, oh.
Doesn't he? Someone gets an arm or something cut off. Doesn't like Rick like cut off a piece of the beard and like throw it onto the leg or something? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I've never seen it. If it was.
Oh, wow, I've never heard that. Yeah, it's been
There's like
years.
a prison con when in the comic version where he like cuts off a piece of the beard and he like uses it to help like clot the blood before he like puts it. It's a neat detail. I was just thinking about when I was looking at these episodes.
It sounds pretty cool. I don't remember seeing that, but it could be. And there's all the scene where if you remember he rips the gas mask off one of the zombies and the whole face gets ripped off. And there's so many great moments in this one. I love this one. It's definitely my favorite episode of the whole series so far. All right, time for our.
That stuff and thanks thing. I forgot that it's very condescending the way he says it. Like it's not like he's saying it because he thought that was clever. He's just being condescending to Lori.
Right,
He's just making fun of
thanks. Really?
it. Like, he's making fun of what she said, and that's why he says it. So
It's great. It's about stuff. Yeah.
I respect the meme more because of that.
So time for our final trivia here. And Chubb, you're up. You ready?
All right.
You ready? Sure. Okay. This could be a tougher one. But let's see. In season 3 of The Walking Dead, which character is the first to discover the burnt-up Walker pits in Woodbury? Is it A. Shumpert, B. Andrea, C. Milton?
I hope his character name is Sumpert.
I think it was Andrea, but I don't remember.
That is incorrect. It is A. Shumpert. So Shumpert, if you remember, was Martinez's kind of like the henchman, right? Martinez and Shumpert were the two henchmen for the governor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not Martinez.
Well, it's not Martinez, right? He did
I
everything.
got-
Yes.
Martinez is the one that sticks out to me. The others is just guys.
Yeah,
But I
Shumpert.
thought it was like the bad guy in Crank. Like that's why I think of Martinez. I can't think of it.
So that was a little tougher one. Sorry about that, Chubb. But now Aaron can make fun of you, so there you go.
You suck, Chubb.
Yep.
That's all like.
I couldn't let Jim just hang out there by himself.
I picked him at random. I swear, the whole card, I just picked one out. That's it.
Did we start doing Shumpert ratings though? By the way.
Shumpert. We never saw him die, though. We just heard about him dying. Like, we heard about him. How did Shumpert go?
He's probably a tank.
Shumpert scale.
The Shumpert scale. That's right.
Can I go over my other list?
So, all right. So, explain one of the lists you have because we're not prepared as you are. You live Moss Man. So, tell us what you got.
Well, so I have a list of like what I think are the worst episodes of The Walking Dead, but I also went to the above and beyond with ranking the various episodes of the webisode series, or the whatever you want to call it, the Fear the Walking Dead #passage presented by Taco Bell Live Moz. I ranked the top 5 of those 8 episodes so far, so that means this list is ongoing because we haven't seen the other half of these episodes, this very important series yet. And I did that as like a challenge from Chubbs essentially, but I went out of my way and ranked the episodes of Flight 462 on top 5 there as well.
Oh my God.
Were you the kid who sold the
Like,
most band candy?
Well, sorry,
Were you the kid who sold the most band candy in school?
You know he did.
I forgot to do the candy thing in school. I wish I did. I would have sold a lot of candy. That said, you want to go through this list right now?
Please do.
Do it.
Okay,
Do it.
Let me do Fear the Walking Dead Flight 462 first. Number 5, Part 1. That's where they board the plane, and there's an ominous shot of the one woman who's like, "What's going on? Something suspicious."
No one will be seated during the gripping boarding the plane scene.
Yes. Then there's Part 8. This is where the U.S. Air Marshal reveals himself, and then they try to defibrillate the guy who they think has just died because he died, and at the end of it, his zombie eyes open. Cliffhanger right there.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Part 12 is number 3. This is where the zombie gets out of the walker, whatever, gets out of the airplane bathroom and rips the throat out of his wife, and then the air marshal's like shooting the zombie, but he's only shooting him in the chest. Right. So then he runs out of bullets. Cliffhanger again. Number 2 of Flight 462 is Part 5. This is where the lights go out in Phoenix. So like you just see the whole state like suddenly go dark.
Oh, out the window. You mean you see the, yeah.
Outside the plane, yeah, he's looking down. He's like, "Oh, the lights went out." And then part 15 is number 1. This is where everyone braces for impact, and the plane's about to crash. And Alex confesses that she took the last seat from the other kid's mom, and she apologized. It's very emotional. Basically, a series finale because the next episode is just what's his name, Nickel Manclose, just looking at the plane crashing. That's the end of it.
These are truly moments that define a generation.
Oh yeah. That was just Flight 462. Now I have the top.
I know.
I mean,
The top 5 here. This is what you wanted. The top 5 Fear the Walking Dead #passage presented by Taco Bell Live Moz episodes.
and there's only 8 of them out now. We're 7. What is it? 8. Okay, gotcha.
The first is Part 7. This is where we discover this character Colton. And he and Sierra, they don't like each other, and she stabs him in the leg.
Sounds like a bad soap opera. Okay.
Part 5 is number 4 here. This is where they find that chained walker, and then some mysterious gunshot rings out and shoots the walker. And it's like, well, what happened there? Number 3 is part 4, where Sierra tells Panicky Woman how to kill a walker with a knife. She says, "Don't go for the skull; the knife will slip."
Right.
Number 2 is part 1. That's where the Panicky Woman arrives in the camp, and Sierra comes across her, and she kills 2 zombies right away. He's like, "Oh, I gotta trust this person." She kills zombies. And of course, part 8 is number 1, where the 2 women go in the hole. Colton's like yelling like, "Don't go in the hole!" And then she trips on a tripwire, and we don't even know what happens from there.
We have to wait until February to figure out what happened there. Yes. Wow.
That's the top 5 Fear the Walking Dead #cast that I talk about.
Good job.
That was riveting. I was at the edge of my seat there.
Did you not also rank your top 5 Fear the Walking Dead?
No, we
No,
couldn't.
that seemed unnecessary.
You can do a rewatch of Fear the Walking Dead. Come on, you're pushing it, man.
I didn't want to go to Wikipedia page for Fear the Walking Dead to look up what
It's painful.
But
You truly preserved an archive for the generations. Let me think.
I do have the worst episodes.
So the worst episodes of The Walking Dead, you actually picked up your top 5?
I think the top 5. I have 9, but I got 5. I have 4.
So give us the 5 and 9, the worst episodes. Let's hear this. Okay.
Okay. For me, number 5 is the season 7 premiere. The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. Despite the things happening as far as like, hey, there's a lot of bloodshed. I just didn't really like this episode that much, guys. We talked about it at length.
Yep.
It would have been great if we just had the 20 minutes of what actually happened. But
It's,
yes,
it's
I
pretty
agree.
fresh. I don't think I need to go over it too
No,
much.
yeah.
Number 4, season 5's episode 4, Slabtown. This is where we're introduced to
The Grady Bunch.
Yeah, the Grady Bunch at the hospital.
Yes.
This is the All About Beth. Is what this episode's called. But yeah, that wasn't a we got the answers. But yeah. Number 3 is season 4, episode 7, Dead Weight. This is the second half of the What's the Governor Been Up To Lately episodes.
Brian Harriet, yes, the bearded governor, right? Yeah.
Well, this is the second half of that. So this is where he finds Martinez is in charge of things now,
Gotcha.
and he and Tara and her sister and whatever, like they arrive, and the governor eventually kills Martinez, and it's really melodramatic and whatnot. And the governor takes over.
Those were tough episodes of the show to get through because I don't think we were very, very down on those episodes.
Number 2, which is an episode I missed on the podcast, because some of you guys were way more enthusiastic than I was, given that it's my number 2 worst episode of the show, is season 4, episode 12. Still, this is the one with just Beth and Daryl just drinking moonshine and being really,
Yeah, that was rough.
being at each other.
Yeah, that was boring.
Well, no, I like Jordan really loved this episode. And all power to him. Like I'm happy to I was just bored out of my mind on this episode.
I
Just seeing
was too.
basically Beth doesn't do well for me on The Walking Dead.
She gave a finger to the fire or something like that right at the end. That was a...
And they burned down a house and they're just living off of it.
Yeah, that's great.
That was the episode I think I almost stopped watching it. I think I thought about it. I really did.
That's
I
what you
almost,
tell right there.
I almost did. If they're going to continue like this, I was out. Like I was not gonna
Too much
do it.
singing. Was it too much singing, Daryl?
Yeah, too much singing. You know how I feel about that singing.
And number 1, season 4 had the worst episodes for me. Apparently, it's the first half of the Governor saga, live based. Season 4, episode 6. This is where we find the Governor who grows a giant fake beard, and there's like sad music playing, like walks drunken around the street. There's like walkers. They don't attack him because he's so disheveled. They're like, he must be one of ours. He looks so sad. Like it's a lot of that nonsense. Plus, we introduced to Tara before Tara was an enjoyable character to watch. It's just annoying Tara, along with the rest of her family. I couldn't get into these episodes. The Governor stuff didn't do it for me. And that's where we are.
We've had some rough ones along the way, but we've had some good ones too. And I know it was hard to narrow down the top 5. A lot of us had honorable mentions, and I'm surprised the Grove didn't make it on more of you guys. That's more of like a well-regarded episode too.
It was in my honorable mentions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of my honorable mentions were on somebody's list though. No Sanctuary, The Grove, and A.
Yeah.
I got
The
some.
only-
Go,
I was
Joe.
just gonna say the only one that I have on my honorable mentions that hasn't already been spoken before. Here's like I said, like Aaron had mentioned, Too Far Gone Made to Suffer. Were the other ones Wildfire, the last episode of the first season.
Yeah.
Just because of the stuff with Jenner and like we'd seen them go through all this, and then there was just such a big twist or turn for them, and just this like weird like one-off stopping place, and then like the end. I don't know, just really. I got the whole like Andromeda Strain vibe from that episode, and I was a big fan of that. So
The,
those are my honorable mentions as well.
There's a great Daryl line in that episode that I always remember. I always see that episode like maybe once or twice in total, but they're all trying to get out of the CDC,
Right.
and Jenner's like, those doors are bulletproof, and Daryl's like, but your head ain't, and he tries to attack Jenner.
Yeah.
And then he goes off the screen and tries to use a chair and like break the door down, right? You see him.
Oh,
yeah.
Plus,
That's
one
why
of the
Daryl's
few
a
times, one of the few times they're actually able to get a shower.
Yeah,
The
right.
whole series.
Yeah.
Until they got to Alexandria, right? They didn't have showers for like 5 seasons, 6 seasons.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There's another season episode I really like called Tell It to the Frogs, which is where Shane beats the crap out of Carol's husband Ed.
Ed
Every time.
Delty,
Because he's really annoyed by Rick being back and taking glory from him essentially, so he's like vents his frustration on a horrible wife beater. So it's fine. And it's also one where Merle at the beginning, because I didn't like Merle and Guts. I didn't like the introduction of Michael Worker. As much as I like Michael Worker, I didn't really care. He was just so over the top.
So
compared to
redneck racist, over the top. Yeah, it was a little too much.
Like this episode, it began with him begging for his life to because he was handcuffed to the top of the roof. He was given this really passionate begging for his life scene, or he had to cut his arm off essentially to get out of that scenario.
Yep.
So that was strong. I like that season 1 episode quite a bit. Are there other honorable mentions? What do I have here that we haven't mentioned? Oh, there's the one with Carol and Daryl, Consumed, where they're trying to find the Beth. Essentially, they're on the mission to find Beth.
Right, they're in the town. They're in the Atlanta. They're in the city, right?
That's the one, they get in the ambulance at one point. They go over the bridge. That was like a big scene in that one where they're in an
Like
ambulance.
a van, they jump over. Yeah, it flips over.
Over the bridge, like down to the ground.
Right.
Let's see, what other ones? JSS. That's the one with
Enid.
That's Enid flashback at the beginning. That's a really strong one. And the wolves
That one
invade,
kept jumping on and off of my list. It did. That one, yeah, it was good.
the wolves invade and everything. That's before that Carol and Morgan have a slapback cell. The difference is it's just where Carol and Morgan they see how they handle things differently, and so you really start to see these ideologies conflict with each other, which that was just good stuff. Also, it has Major Dodson, so we have to shout him out. Of course.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And lastly, well, I'm not surprised it didn't come up. The Well, where Ezekiel and Shiva are introduced, who we have not seen since
I know.
the show.
Yeah.
And I love that episode. I think it's so over the top, wonderful compared to how dire and dark everything got. It's like, all right, now we're at King Ezekiel and his pet tiger. Like, I'm all about that. Let's see more of that.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to see a lot more of them in the second half of the season, that's for sure. Coming
Oh, yeah,
up. Some sort of teasing.
You know
Yeah.
what's interesting? Thinking about all our lists and everything. I don't think anybody really brought up Abraham Eugene and Rosita.
The
Well,
one,
they didn't have much to do.
Yeah.
the one where I guess it's the one where they're trying to go to DC and they find out that what's his name that
Eugene.
Eugene's a liar and Abraham has
Yeah.
all the Abraham has all those flashbacks to when he was before he found Eugene.
Yeah.
That was I like that episode, but it didn't make my honorable
Yeah.
mention. I like that episode.
I mean, it's so many good hours of television. It's hard. You're splitting hairs, trying to decide which one's better than the next. I mean, it's really hard to
Exactly,
make them
yeah.
stand out. That's why we were struggling with this. I mean, narrow it down to 5 was tough enough.
Yeah, it was,
And also-
top 15 or 10 was easy. Getting it down to about 5 was
tough.
really tough.
And no one mentioned the Vatos either, and they
Oh,
kind
well.
of stick out in mine too.
I don't know if that makes any top list of mine. Maybe I don't know.
I'm
Man.
not a huge season 1 fan, guys. Like I like the first episode.
I don't know. I'm a big season 1 fan. So.
Yeah, so in a few weeks, I guess we'll be starting season 7, the second half, 7B as they call it, and looks pretty good. Looks like Rick's going to be reuniting and getting to know the kingdom and working with the Hilltop group. It looks like it's going to be pretty good, and their producers are promising a lot of action as opposed to, they even had some article recently where they tried to dial back the gore a little bit in the first half of season 7. We saw how well that worked for the ratings. Yeah.
I have a rebuttal for that because there's an article today where Gail Ann Hurd talked about how that's an overstatement, and which is more of like someone took that information and ran with it and made a whole article about it. They didn't actually tone down the rest of the season for that. I thought there's a link I can share on there, but that's not actually true.
So let me get this straight. All right, let's say they toned it down for the first half of the season. Let's just say it's somewhat true. You think the second half they're going to dial it back up again? Is that what you're thinking?
No, what I'm saying is they didn't tone anything down for the first half of the season.
They say. Okay.
Well, what she's saying is that the idea was that the first episode was always supposed to be much higher as far as what they're doing because of how intense the situation was, but so the season that followed was exactly as they planned it. It just the backlash made people think that way, and some quotes got taken out of context.
Well, for example, the example they gave was like the scene where whatever the guy's name was, his face was getting ironed by the governor. Like they shot it a little differently. They didn't show like every single second of his face getting burned. They kind of cut away, and they did it a little bit more artistically than they usually do. Like, that's what they were trying to say. They didn't rewrite anything or change anything. They just kind of shot it a little bit less gory. That's what
I mean. What I'm reading is saying Greg Nicotero saying flat, no, we didn't change anything as far as based off what fans thought. Like they did the show they wanted to do. That's what I've been reading.
Okay, well, we'll see. That's true. Yeah.
As far as the response to, because that became it became a viral article about how they supposedly toned down the season. They're responding to this.
Yeah, let's just hope it's better. I really honestly didn't like the first half of the season. It really didn't sit well with me at all. I hope they take that out a bit. Yeah. So
it's not as far as violence or it's just more I don't like the story. I don't like the way they're telling the story. Like I want them to do. If you want to be violent, be violent, but have a story that serves the purpose of the violence.
Yeah, it didn't fit. Something was missing. Something was a little off this first half of the season. I think the ratings reflected it, unfortunately. So hopefully they'll find their mojo again in the second half. So before we wrap it up, can we do a quick word from our sponsor? Jim, would you be so kind as to talk about our lovely sponsor that keeps us going every episode of The Walking Dead?
Sure, it's dcbservice.com. They have all of your pop culture needs covered at great prices with great customer service. A lot better than just some blind store you buy off of on Amazon or whatever. They have everything you'd find in your previous catalog. That includes comics and graphic novels and T-shirts and action figures and statues and toys and all kinds of stuff. I'm just looking at some of the really cool stuff they have on special right now at deep discounts. Aaron, I know you and I both share a love of Cowboy Bebop. I'm looking at this incredibly sweet Spike Spiegel Art FX statue. Standard retail price on that's about $150. They have it for $95.99. I only had an extra $100 around. If any of our well-heeled millionaire listeners would like to get me that'd be great. They have all kinds of comics at all kinds of great prices. The new relaunch of the X-Men Prime, they have for 50% off this month at DCB Service. They have all 50% off on all hardcover and graphic novels. These are better prices than you're going to find on Amazon, better than you're going to find pretty much anywhere else. And they have really great customer service. They really go out of their way for their customers, and they're really great people to deal with. So it's a double bonus for you. Great prices and great people. DCBService.com. And I know a lot of you guys have ordered stuff from them. I know I have.
Yeah, Russ, you had something to say? You had an anecdote about DCBS?
I have a quick anecdote. So recently, I'd say within the last 6 months or so, I ordered a couple things off of Amazon, some larger format books, actually the making of Return of the Jedi and the making of Star Wars. And when they come shipped via Amazon, I've had this problem with a couple of books I've ordered from Amazon. They just throw the book in the box. They maybe throw a little puffy clear plastic thing in there and they ship it. And then the book comes and like the corners are dinged or the dust jacket is ripped. And it's extremely annoying. I'm really funky with and real anal about my books, especially like coffee table type books. And to contrast that, I ordered about 6 Marvel Epic collections from In Stock Trade, so the sister side of DCB Service. And those things came, they were individually bagged and sealed, and they use that foamy stuff, that's vacuum formed to the shape of the box and the materials.
All of their shipments are like that.
Yeah, and I mean, and even when I was ordering stuff monthly, more regular than I am now, it was like that. But it's just a stark contrast, and the prices are cheaper. So if you're looking for trades and hardcovers and things like that, their prices are going to be better. And even though they don't have 2-day shipping, it's well worth waiting the extra time to get your stuff because it's going to be pristine. It's going to come perfect. And I've just had some really, really bad Amazon experiences with books lately.
And if you order $50 or more on your order, it's free.
Yeah, it's free shipping. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I ordered 6 Epic collections instead of 2. So
Russ likes big books and he cannot lie.
So yeah,
I had a similar thing with I was ordering some of the McFarlane Walking Dead action figure sets. Like I got the Daryl on his chopper, driving through, and then some of the blind bags and stuff. And those are pretty small and actually kind of fragile because they are so small and detailed and everything. And I've never had a problem with them bringing me stuff, and it was always in great shape when I got it, box and insides included. So again, great prices, great people to deal with. So.
Good stuff, and they keep us on every week. So if you want to check them out, DCBService.com. Also, listeners, if you're just tuning in for the first time ever, please go to our Facebook page. It is Facebook.com. Do a search for The Walking Dead TV Podcast. Just hit the join button. We'll get you in. We're 813 members strong right now, and even in the off season, our listeners are great. They always post cute articles and memes about the show, things that are happening. It's all very troll free and very cool place to be if you're a fan of the show. So please join the group. That's also where you can leave your Buster ratings. So every episode we review, you can leave your very own Buster ratings, or if you're The Walking Dead, we call them Toby ratings. But either way, this is the place where you can leave those and be a part of the show as well. So
be sure to leave your top 5 episodes for all the listeners that are on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll create a thread for that. Actually, it's a really good call. And I don't know, should we do a poll? Now that'd be too complicated. It's too many episodes.
Yeah.
So we'll just do we'll create a little thread and say here's the new episode, and why don't you leave in the comments your top 5, and we can actually go over those on an upcoming show. And I think that would be kind of fun to do that. We may do one more. Like I said, we got the Telltale game coming up, and the new season starts. What is it? 12th, I believe. February 12th.
Yeah, 3 weeks as we record. 3 weeks from yesterday.
I believe it's
it's 12th, right? Just Sunday, and 13th is when we're going to record probably that Monday. So yeah, we got a couple weeks to go. So we may do one more show. If not, again, just get your ratings, get your top 5 in there. Love to see what you guys think.
You're underestimating how the people are going to react to this episode. We're going to have to do at least 2 more because they're going to have all this hate mail for us about how we didn't choose this episode.
I'm thinking above all that. You're right. Because you guys are crazy. What's the season 2 love all about? What's wrong with you guys?
And I'm sure you think a Terra episode is one of your top 5 of all time.
Daryl, are you crazy? What's wrong with you picking a Terra episode? I hated that episode. I know, right? Oops. Yeah. Well, you never know though, Aaron. They may critique your episodes. They may critique your Passage and Flight 462. You never know.
I'd love to hear more and more insight about the episodes and the love for those I'm sure is out there.
I don't think I'm going to argue with your top picks. I think
I'm happy to hear it.
And I just want to mention how branding just sticks because now every time I pass a Taco Bell, I think of Aaron. Aaron comes to mind every single time.
I want it.
You know how many times I've said the phrase #passages presented by Taco Bell with Boss? Just doing the recaps.
Do you know how naturally it comes up in conversation?
Well, it does if the money's right.
All right, I'm gonna approach Taco Bell. DCBS is still gonna be our sponsor, but you know what? I'm gonna reach out to them. So look, guys, we're giving like 1,000 plugs. Can you give us a little sponsor to the show? Can you give us something? All right,
Free tacos?
free taco. Yeah,
Come
give us something. Yeah, come on, some chalupas.
Maybe
Whatever.
send us some fire sauce.
So
You know,
that's it. All right. So again, thanks for listening, folks. And if you're again just tuning in, where can our listeners hear or see or read your other scribblings or thoughts out there? Again, Richard, I'll start with you. Where can our listeners find you?
On Twitter, I'm at Chubtoad01. On Instagram, at Chubtoad01. Pretty much everything Chubtoad01. You can hear me on this network over at the DC TV podcast with Jim and Daryl and our lovely co-host Jerry that's come on in the last year. And you can see me on the internet every once in a while. That's about it.
All right, great. Russ.
Same place you can pretty much catch the show, hhwled.com. I try and I'm on this show when I can, and of course it's all connected, which we do weekly/bi-weekly. Lately we've been catching up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Daryl's been joining us for that, and our recaps with Luke Cage with Iron Fist vastly approaching, and of course all the movie stuff. So
it must be tough having so many TV shows to have to do.
It's just
the 2 whole shows. Oh my god!
The work you guys do.
Every other week.
Come September, God willing, we may have 3 shows that we have to talk about.
What did the DC guys have at the most? You guys have 10 or 8?
I have 7 shows.
7, okay.
Powerless.
Yeah, I
the addition of Powerless in February, it'll be 7 shows.
Yeah,
Couple weeks.
at the same time, simultaneously. Right.
Every week.
All at the same time.
Lucifer, Gotham, Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow,
iZombie.
Powerless, and iZombie. When iZombie comes out, it'll be 7 or 8.
Wow.
Not to mention all the releases of the cartoon movies, animated films, and all that.
And Lego Batman. We got to talk about that, right? When that comes out.
Daryl's jumping for joy.
I'll guest on that episode. I watch some of these shows.
All right, great, Russ. Jim, how about you? Same thing, DCTV, wherever you can be found.
DCTV, also on Nothing's On with
Okay.
Daryl and Donnie Salvo, which
That's
is
good.
now weekly. Movie and TV talk on the Taylor Network of Podcast.com. You can find that there. And of course, HHWLD, DCTV, and it's all connected with Russ. And then you've got the Walking Dead TV podcast, and it's just a wonderful place.
It is a place to be. Aaron, how about you?
You can find my scribblings over on thecodeiszeek.com. That's my personal blog where you can find basically all the work that I do on various sites throughout the week posted eventually there. You can find my babbling over on the show Out Now with Aaron and Abe. That is the podcast I co-host with my friend Abe. We talk about the newest movie releases this week. What did we do this week? This week we talked about The Founder, which is the
Oh, I really want to see that.
I watched that too. Yeah.
We also have an upcoming audio commentary track for Event Horizon.
That's a good
Why
one.
not?
That's a good one.
And we do commentary tracks every month. We have a lot of fun with those. Yeah, we also have our weekly episodes, which of course I think this week we're probably going to be talking because there's no new real big release that I wanted to
Oh,
check
come on.
out.
Death Race 2050 came out this week.
Well, straight to DVD, right? Didn't even hit
Straight to
theaters.
Netflix. Sorry, on Netflix.
But
Oh, shit.
we're going to talk about the Oscar nominations, which drop tomorrow at the time of recording, and as well as the new Star Wars title, guys. #Last Jedi.
There you go. In red, by the way. That makes a difference, right?
Star Wars is in red.
Okay, I got you. Okay. All right, and Daryl, how about you?
You can join me on just go to taylornetworkpodcast.com, and we have a plethora of podcasts that you can join us with: TV, movies, with Nothing's On, and comic interviews with Double Page Spread. And now we just added a Star Wars podcast along with a Star Trek podcast, so you can check out Forced Conversations, and you can check out Go Trek Yourself. And we have another couple of podcasts coming to the network as well. So it'll be a D&D one, I think, is coming. If I'm not mistaken.
It's a Star Wars. Why am I not involved in any of these?
And you're too busy doing selfies. And
It's Hollywood mobile stuff, right? The money has everything. Yeah.
People got to work. Yeah, people got to work.
It's an active lifestyle.
Yeah. But, definitely, you can check it out there, and you can also just go to The Voice 123 on Twitter and follow what the shows and what I'm doing there.
That's great. And I have my podcast. It's the Auto Chat Show. You can find us on the web, autochatshow.com or facebook.com/Auto Chat Show. And me and my co-host Teddy review new cars, discuss cars and pop culture, whatever else comes into our brain. And it's a lot of fun. Actually, we just reviewed the Kia Cadenza, very nice car. We reviewed the Lexus RX 350 this week. I'm getting that tomorrow. Ted's also reviewing the Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk, so some SUVs coming in for the winter months. So we'll be talking about those as well. So if you want to hear some new car reviews and in our other ramblings, check us out. It's a lot of fun. AutoChatShow.com.
You guys dig into the Auto Chat Show. That's just fun time. Like I don't have time to listen to Car Talk on Sundays on NPR. I want to listen to a podcast whenever I want to. I'm going to jump on the Crib Show.
It's everything you want.
It's all reruns.
Well, Greg,
Right?
Greg, I live in Detroit, so the last 2 weeks has been nothing but car show. Did you guys cover any of that?
On our last episode, we covered the North American International Auto Show. We weren't there, but we covered the big debuts that they had there. We kind of covered some of the new hotness coming out of Detroit. And then actually, we go to the press days over at the New York International Auto Show, which is coming in March. So that's February's the next one. It's in Chicago, and then the March one is New York. So we go to both days of that and kind of cover it from there. Get some interviews and stuff too. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So a lot of new stuff coming in, and if you guys want to hear, what the hot brands are, just check us out. AutoChatShow.com. It's a lot of fun. So that's gonna bring it into our special episode of the Walking Dead TV podcast. We missed all of you guys. We wanted to join you again, and this has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we can do this and get together. And we'll see you guys soon.
And remember, when there's no more room in hell and the dead walk the earth, walkers don't have top fives. They're busy eating. Good night, everybody.
Eat Taco Bell.
Eating tacos.
Doing alright. Little driving on a Saturday night. Come up me. Coming down the day away. Can't ever see. She always smile for people she meet. I'm trouble with trap. Got another way of looking alike. Music blue. I just don't wait to get to you. What can I do? I'm thinking about my time with you. Got to move to the trick of the beat. It's no late. Just take your place in the driver's seat. Driver's seat.